going on YouTube? Q back here again with another video for you. In today's video, I'm here with the 2024 Acura TLX Type S. So if you've been with the channel for a minute, you know that I have the Inflator Type S. So I did a couple comparison videos, did a driving impressions, just the basic differences, and now I'm about to do just a full review of the TLX Type S by itself. So I'm going to try as hard as I can not to include the Inflator Type S because it's kind of hard to not compare them, but just going to TLX. That's the focus of this video, all TLX. So if you like that, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell about the channel. Let's jump into it. I'd like to give a huge shout out to Acura for loaning me the TLX Type S for the week. Thank you guys very much. The TLX is a mid-size luxury sports sedan, and the competition is going to be tight. You got your BMW 5 Series, kind of like between the 3 and the 5 Series if you ask me, but on paper it's going to be against the 5 Series, the Mercedes E-Class. We got the Lexus, what would have been the GS, but now the ES, I guess. And then we also have new competitors to this, the G70 from Genesis. So it's kind of tight up in there. And then the Americans, you got the Cadillac, somewhere between the CT4 and CT5. Probably a CT5, but the performance is going to be way off. The TLX Type S is going to be an outlier because the value for the money is going to be there. So a lot of people in the comments for the last couple videos like to compare it to like the M3s, M4s, M5s is kind of a stretch, but definitely talking about price wise. But the TLX Type S, like somebody compared it to a Blackwing, this comes fully loaded at less than $60K, and I'll get to the exact price in just a moment here. So you guys gotta take note that the cars that you're comparing to are either used or not fully loaded. That's the base price of these. This is fully loaded out, and then you can get a ton of accessories. If you see my Integra Type S, I got like $6,000 to $8,000 worth of accessories. You can do the same thing for here. You can get like a bronze wheels, carbon fiber spoiler. You can actually get a carbon fiber diffuser, these black badges, so you can do the exact same things. Also summer tires. This comes with all seasons, surprisingly, but you can get the option for summer tires too. And pricing on here is going to be simple. The base MSRP of the Type S is $57,000. You add the urban gray pearlescent color to it because unfortunately the sun's not shining right now, but once you step up on here, it goes from like a bluish gray till you can see like a gold undertone flake, which looks really good in the sunlight. But that paint option is going to cost you $600, and then that's going to bring the grand total, including destination, to $58,795. Now let's talk power. What's power in the TLX Type S? We got a 3-liter turbocharged, 355 horsepower, 355 pound-feet of torque engine that's in here, and that's going to go to all the wheels. So all-wheel drive on here. And we do have the big Brembo brakes on here. So a lot of people are going to say it's underpowered. And looking on paper, it is. We'll get to the driving portion next. If you saw the other videos, you know how I drive, but I'm going to get to a thorough driving from like street to just all balls to the wall. 355 horsepower might not look like much on paper, but I can guarantee you it drives faster than that. Like, it's not a slouch at all. 0 to 60 is going to come in 4.5 seconds, 4.6 seconds to be exact from the manufacturer's suggested estimates. So that is enough speed to get you off the line, especially with all-wheel drive. Your fuel economy is going to take premium fuel, and the EPA estimates are 19 city, 25 highway. I've been seeing about 15, 16 in my combined driving, so it's a bit low. Let's start from the rear and work our way up to the front. So notice these huge quad exhausts. I really like that. That might be my favorite part of the car. And then this diffuser down here is pretty aggressive. I like that as well. And you can get that in carbon fiber from the factory or an accessory. They're not doing it from the factory. You got to order through your dealership. You're going to open the trunk right here on the right side tail light. Push it up. Got 2 struts to come up. Opens automatically. Now you can do that from the key fob as well. And we got a button on the inside. This trunk is quite large for a sedan, but you're going to lose a little bit of practicality because we do have a strut tower brace back there for added rigidity. So if you want to fold the rear seats down, which you can do, this lever right here, had to give it a little push, but you're going to lose some practicality because you ain't going to be able to pass through unless you remove the strut tower brace. And we will not have a spare tire. We will have a tire inflator kit up under there in case you do run low, but if you're looking for a spare, it ain't here. Coming along to the back seat, spoiler alert, It's a little bit cramped back here. Standing behind myself at 6 feet tall, 5 feet 11 if you want to be a jerk about it. My seats rub the front, so this is a little bit, I asked the driver to let the seat back up just a little bit for me because I need a little bit more room. But we can fit adults back here, probably 2 adults. This middle seat is a little bit on the slim side. And for this car to be in the mid-size class, it ain't mid-side interior room, especially in this back seat. Front's gonna be okay, I can assure you that, but the back's a little bit cramped. No 3 adults, 2 adults on the side. If you got longer legs, then you might want to sit on the passenger side, move that seat up some. Very skinny, a kid can fit in the middle back here. So we are gonna have a couple USB-C chargers back here and vents. The Integra doesn't have that, couldn't help myself. Headroom, I got about 1 inch, maybe 2 above me, so it's gonna be tight. So if you're taller than 6 feet, you might not want to be in the back of a TLX. Coming up to the front seat. One of my favorite parts about this car are the seats. They're so comfortable, highly customizable with the settings. We got, 14, 16 way seats here. Got the lumbar support, sliding tilt, even got thigh support that you can adjust. You can adjust the lateral bolstering, which makes it feels like such a good hug from your grandmother when she was a young grandmother, that firm, tight hug. She wasn't used to being a grandmother, but she still had her strength, not when she got old and weak. Materials in this front seat are going to be top notch. We actually got metal grating on the speakers right here, not this one down there. This is going to be our trunk release button, which I don't find in a lot of cars these days. We got the door handle wrapped in, we got a nice contrast to it. We got the red and black two-tone going on here. We got the red stitching with the black leather up here, conversely to this down here. Door handle, that's going to be premium feeling. We do have 2 memory seat settings. This leather wrap dash is going to go across the entirety of the car. Even over here we got like 2 dashes with a glove box down here. I do think this is a lot of dash, a lot of extra real estate. The ergonomics on here is something I wish they would have done differently. Looking at this gear selector, it kind of takes up a lot of room. Like, I'm thinking of a Carrera GT where this could have been a manual transmission here. I really wish they had one of those in this vehicle, but they don't. But this takes up a lot of space. A lot of cars put wireless chargers up here, cup holders. Now, we do get the cup holders down here and the wireless charger right here, but I feel like something more could have been up here. That real estate could have been used for something else. It's kind of cramped up here, not a whole lot of space to move around. It's just bulky feeling. In the center console, we do have nice padding. That's going to go along to the door armrest as well. Great padding in here. So lifting this up, going to have a slot for our coins, DC charger, USB-A, and USB-C. And this wireless charger does do its job. I've seen a lot of wireless chargers. This does a really good job at charging the phone. To be exact, we have 16-way seats. And if I want to change the bolstering on the side, there's a little lever on the directional pad. I can change the side bolstering. I can do the lower lumbar and the thigh extension down low. So that is great adjustability. And this side bolstering, if you do decide to track or just drive very spiritedly, it's going to hold you in. Because I'm on a slimmer side, average build. So it really hugs you really tightly, and you can loosen it up. But I love these seats, how just supportive they are. Great seats. Something I don't love, this trackpad. So this is going to be like a laptop to use to control our screen up above. And what I don't like about it, you do not have a choice. It is not touchscreen at all. As much as you want to try to touch anything, it is fully done by this trackpad. So on the right side is going to move your cards. You can change from the map to the time to the song that's playing, or you can press this button up top, which kind of does the same thing. It's kind of a useless button, but it's there in case you need it. So you can look at the 3 options that you do have as opposed to just sliding down and seeing what they are. But what I don't like about this trackpad, it can be used in any direction. You go up, down, left, right. So that's cool. So I can just slide wherever I want to go directly. Other cars, you kind of got to like just rotate a knob all the way through. This one you can directly go. But driving this a whole week, like, I can't get used to it. Like, to swipe to another screen on here, I have to swipe it all the way to the left to make it go right. And that's kind of counterintuitive. Like, I slide it right. I mean, it makes sense now, but when I play video games, I play with inverted look on, so this is kind of odd for me. And then once you go through the options, like, I can slowly slide it to the right. But if I want to go to the next page, which you would think I just keep sliding right, it will slide you left. So that's I don't know, that's not intuitive at all to me. What I think would help this out if we had like dedicated buttons for like navigation, audio, instead of just the home and the back button and these side buttons, which only controls the right quarter of the screen right there. So that would be easy to go back to my music as opposed to like scrolling all the way through, which I struggle with. So I got to go back to Apple CarPlay if I wanted that. Yeah, it's just easier to. Yeah, it's a long learning curve on this. I'll just say that. And I did notice something with the skip track buttons. Once you're in reverse, you cannot skip the track. So I had some inappropriate music playing. Sorry, kids. Now I was trying to skip the track using this because it's the easiest one to press, and my track just stayed on. And I'm like turning the volume down, but I had to like skip the track with the steering wheel control. And this one is kind of like unmarked, but you slide this to the right or to the left, it'll skip tracks. Volume right there. Climate controls. The heated seats, those are auto. The temperature can be auto in here as well, so everything will dial back or dial up as the temperature. I got it set to 74. And let me just do this for Race Car 21 for the one time. All right, yeah, there I did it. But yeah, it's gonna see the heated seat turned off when I put it down to 69 degrees. Now it went back up when I put it up to 74. So that's cool. You can do it on the driver and the passenger side. Nifty feature to have. And everything is physical buttons. I know a lot of people like that. It just works great in here. You know where everything is. One of my favorite features is going to be the sunroof. Let some light in, because you do have high belt line on these doors, so it's not going to let as much light in just because there's less light to come in because the belt line is so high. If the windows were bigger, that would be better, but the sunroof is going to help that. It's going to seem like a brighter interior with the sunroof open. So like I said, it's kind of a little bit claustrophobic as we get snow out here this time of year. And then we do have a brilliant display on this instrument panel cluster right here, which looks great, to be honest. We do have a heads-up display as well, which has full menus up there. So I don't know if y'all can see it on the camera, but we can adjust a few things. Navigation, phone, Sirius XM. You can see that on the heads-up display, which is nifty. Without further ado, let's get an exhaust clip and then take the TLX Type S for a spin. Just like that, folks, that Michigan weather for you. So let's go take this on the drive, which was going to be very spiritedly. Now we got to do it according to snow. Here's we're going to unfold as you unlock the car. Nice metallic features in here. Love this all up in here. Add some contrast to a rather dark interior. The seats do add much more contrast as well. But let's crank it up. Like the windshields, we do have rain sensing wipers in here, or snow for today. Where did this come from? This wasn't forecasted. Buckle up for safety. So let's change our drive mode. Gonna use this knob here. Let's dial it back to comfort. You can see we got our basic TLX up here. It's not a Type S, and it does the same thing on the cluster. Where the Type S at? We don't want the A-spec TLX. We want the Type S. Let's test the turning radius first. So lock the steering wheel all the way, and see how good we can navigate in the parking lot. Pretty tight turning radius. I don't think it's the best, but we'll see in just a moment here. So I got a test for a U-turn. It is rather connected. The steering feel is going to be on the lighter side. Like it's kind of not connected to the road like you would hope it to be. But once we turn it up, I'll see how I like it then. The sound deadening in here and dampening is excellent though. These roads are rather rough right there. And it handles a lot of these Michigan roads supremely. This is where we're going to really test the turning radius. I've only been able to make this turn with a couple cars. One of them being the SUV, surprisingly. And this does not have the excellent turning radius as I thought. But let's check out the dampening more on the road. This 360 camera does come in handy. Once you get into tight space, things do look distorted, but driving out of this parking lot, it looks to be stitched together really well. Thinking like a champ, not bad at all. Dial it up to normal driving mode. Still got our basic TLX. Gonna be a little bit cautious because it did just snow. So now we mixed in the oils with the road with water because that snow hit the ground and melted. Now it's going to make for little slick roads, but good thing we do have all-wheel drive, super handling all-wheel drive. That's going to be an excellent system. It's going to keep us straight. The torque distribution to the sides, that's going to be well. The inside turn is going to put the power down where it needs to be. This is a great all-wheel drive system, and we're just going to stick and go. No slippage whatsoever, and these are all seasons. And this exhaust note is, man, fantastic. I like this exhaust note a lot. Honda needs to put V6s in more applications that come with a manual. For me, do that for me, please. You ain't got to do it for everybody else, but give me a one-off. Make this car for me with a manual. I'll be all over it. Well, I do like the 10-speed in here. When you got it in Sport Plus mode, it does stay in the power band all the time, and it does up and down shift fast, which we'll demonstrate in just a moment. So that 15.5 miles per gallon, that ain't all that good, man. I thought I would do better because I haven't been that hard on the car. I've been using it as a daily commuter. As I turn it to Sport Plus mode, because we're about to go through some turns, you can see it's going to even idle higher. And then notice the heads-up display. That's like the largest, most clear heads-up display that I've encountered in recent times. But this car is just idling a lot louder. They trying to race? What you gonna do when the queue comes for you? No, this 355 horsepower loose. Not even all of it. But I don't really get the underpowered comments. Like, I want to know if those people have driven one of these, because it does not in any way, shape, or form feel underpowered. Power out of a turn. Ooh, it snatched me. It had the downshift for me. But yeah, it does well. You can put this in S mode as well, and we can shift ourselves. Manual shifting, which is how I would prefer to do it. But this car is so good, I like to let it do the shifting for me. Because it is automatic. That's why you get automatic, right? We ain't buy you automatic to manually shift. So let me downshift. I would take off. Woo! Slow it down. So it does have to get up and go. Let me let it go back to automatic mode. This car needs a little bit more space around here to do what it is fully capable of. With the handling, body roll, it's going to be well composed. Minimal roll, very minimal roll. Honda does a great job at their chassis, especially in this application, as well as the MDX Type S. I drove one of those, and it hides its weight really well. And this car hides its weight really well as well, because this thing weighs as much as a Scat Pack. This is 4,200 pounds with the V6. So I wonder, I don't know how all that weight fit up into this tiny package, but this is a rather hefty vehicle. Not to take away from it, it is a great driving experience. Who would drive one of these? So there's a lot of people throwing out a lot of names. The Acura badge, you know, it's going to be reliable over the years, so you wouldn't have to worry about the maintenance. And then Acura is going to have a longer warranty, like a powertrain warranty. I believe it's like 70,000 miles. So that's more added comfort. So let me dial it back to just sport mode. So I really don't know the difference. Sport Plus is going to be more hardcore. It does put a G meter up there by default. Actually, let's go back to comfort. These roads are very bad right here. On daily driving, this is going to be a supreme vehicle. And then the audio system, we got that 17 speaker ELS. That is probably the best audio system that I have heard in any vehicle at any price point. It is amazingly tuned in here, even better so than the Integra. I have to compare it, but same audio stereo, but it's just much better in here. So we are going to take off from a standstill to see how we do from a dig, because we do got the all-wheel drive, you dig? So we want to see what that's like. Launch it, just floor it. No slipping at all. So we just grip and go. Tell you, man, and this is on slick roads too. There was absolutely no slippage at all. Let's merge onto the highway to see what the merging in and passing power is like. Oh, we're at the speed already. Ain't got nobody to pass. But if we wanted to, it's a cinch. And it actually pushes you back in the seat. Like, this car does have the power. It's not on paper, but what you feel and how the car communicates and what you're actually doing, it is no slouch. Now, I know this doesn't compare to like an M5 with like 600 horsepower now, or even an M3 was pushing like 460 horsepower now, at least. So it's not going to be that fast. But the 60, the M3s are doing like 0 to 60 in like 3 seconds now. So you're not going to be that fast. This is going to pair up against more like a 340 or a 540i with their inline sixes. So what you do get in here is you get the lane keep assist, which is going to be fantastic with the cruise control. The car will just keep itself in the lines, and it does an amazing job at doing so. So once it comes upon traffic, it'll slow down. So we got our blind spot illuminated right there. It sees the vehicles. I'm not holding the steering wheel, which I need to, because every 15 seconds it'll let me know that the steering wheel needs to be held, because this is not a substitute for the driver. It's just a driving aid, and it does a good job at it. So I have this in my Integra, and I love it. Use it on road trips all the time. So now let's check out the ELS system. Fidelity of this system does not lose its integrity as you put the power all the way up. Normally once you crank it all the way up, it's some distortion, but the higher you turn it, it's still just as clear as if it's down low, which I appreciate. And then it has bass too, so treble and bass. Really like that. Enjoy that about the TLX. Type S. The S is for swagger. You knew that. So let's take one more loop around and then we'll sum this review up. So who would this TLX be most fitting for? So I believe it's going to be the buyers that don't really care about the badge. Like Acura, it doesn't have the prestige of like a BMW or Mercedes. But for what they give you for the money, and especially the quality, that's going to be there. That's why you drive these cars. This isn't the car to lease. This is the long-term car. If you plan on having this car for 5-10 years plus, the Acura is the way to go. Because if you look at any older Exacras, or if you look at any older examples of the Acuras, they get up to 300,000 miles. Like I've seen the Acura TL, the old TSXs, they just rack up the miles with minimal service needed. And it's fairly inexpensive as well. These cars aren't too complex. They do what they need to do, get your driver from the front, from point A to point B. In style, it's comfortable, it's quiet, it's fast enough. It's not a 2-second car. It's not a 10-second drag quarter-mile car. But it will get you there in what, like 13 seconds? It's no slouch at all. It gets you there. So this car isn't going to be for everybody. It's more of an understated car to me. It does look athletic, but this is the buyer that doesn't want to stand out, doesn't want all the attention, wants to keep money in their pocket as far as maintenance goes. And then Acura has a 2 years, 24,000 miles maintenance. I got to check them about those oil changes though. They don't want to do those oil changes till they get to 15%. And my car is at it's been sitting at like 5,000 miles, and it's at like 50%. So I would have to go to like 10,000 miles to get to 15%. That ain't the way, Acura. If you're gonna do free maintenance, do free maintenance. But the only thing you should need is oil change and tire rotations. If y'all just gonna keep it at 15%, just make us pay for it. Don't call it free. That made me mad. Would you rather choose this over the BMW? It depends on what you want. Like long term, like I said, this is the way. BMW, you know the maintenance is going to be there. And then they do require more maintenance. The intervals are more, and it's going to cost more as well. So that's where the Integ or the TLX would shine. Why are y'all slowing down? Maneuverability in these curves. Let's see what the all-wheel drive does. Oh dang, this car gets up to speed so fast. You never really know what speed you're doing until you look down, because this car hides its speed extremely well. It's not like doing a whole lot. It can do something. Once you stump the pedal, it'll get up there, but it doesn't have the highest red line. It's like barely above 6,000 RPM. So there you have it, TLX Type S. If you got any questions, comments, or concerns, drop a comment, let me know. With that being said, don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the bell, browse the channel, and I'll catch you all in the next video. Peace out. See what these brakes are like. Dang. The brakes are strong too. You know you gotta have some big brakes. These brakes are, they just look huge on here. They got stopping power. Had a little bit of skirt, a little bit of sliding, but the grounds are wet and it is around freezing.